Iran's economy is hitting ordinary people. And joining us now to unpack this, break down these numbers, is Dr. Sona Kazemi, assistant professor at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. So, Sona, when people are cutting out something as basic as meat, coffee, meals at a restaurant, what does that tell us about the depth of Iran's economic crisis? What is life like right now for the average Iranian?
Hi, Natasha. Thank you for having me. This is indeed a question that I've been asking myself, not over the past year in light of the war with US and Israel, but also long, long before that. When the revolution happened 47 years ago, 7 Iranian toman was worth $1 American. When I left the country in 2007, 700 toman was $1 Canadian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now 186,000 toman is $1 American. So I guess this can kind of visualize for you, maybe in a graph in your head, what it has meant for Iran's economy to be in the hands of the Islamic Republic. So now this might be really interesting for your viewers who might know that, Iran is 1.6 million kilometers square, is a vast country that owns 4% of the world's natural resources, 17% of the world's natural gas, and is the third exporter of oil. So they might be scratching their heads. Why is this country been plunging into poverty? So the answer is that the money that was supposed to be spent for their infrastructure, for their economy, for building schools and hospitals, has been spent to build a nuclear program that has produced not even 1 kilowatt of energy for the Iranian people, but in return has brought upon us sanctions and misery, and what we see right now, which is 261% point-to-point inflation on meat products.
Wow. I mean, really, these numbers are just shocking, obviously. What does that mean in terms of the changes that Iranian families are experiencing right now, particularly children? We talk about these numbers, but when you understand the impact on the ground, it's something totally different. Hold on, Dr.
And not only children, but also...
Okay, now we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, not only children, but also, people with disabilities, marginalized populations, unhoused people, elderly people, people who live on a pension. This has affected, and also in the past few weeks, in light of the war and the fact that a lot of people have lost employment because of the bombing of the petrochemical sector in the south, and also the steel manufacturing company in Isfahan. A lot of people have lost employment. That has pushed another few million people into poverty. But again, I want to be very clear that when I left the country, maybe some, people could still afford chicken and meat. But now meat, whether red or white meat, has become a luxury item that people cannot afford. So you can imagine what is happening to children growing up, elderly people. It has just become a disaster in the past few months, when even more people have been pushed into poverty.
Dr. Sona, I want to ask you what your take is, or what you've at least heard from Iranians on the ground in terms of what they want to see happen next in light of all of this. Is there a realistic path out of this economic squeeze that we're seeing right now? And do they believe that this war needs to continue, that the United States and Israel should resume striking the Islamic Republic, or would they rather see some type of truce at this point to try to help and rebuild what is left of the economy?
Right. Well, people are in a limbo, right? I mean, Iranian people are living in this very bizarre situation where they had hoped for the international community to intervene and do something humanitarian in their aid, because 40,000 Iranian people lost their lives to the regime's machine guns on the streets. So people are traumatized, people are poor, people are tired of this 47-year-long corruption, animosity, and antagonism towards the world that has brought nothing upon them but sanctions and isolation and misery. But at this point, they're really hoping for a solution. What they know is that they don't want this government, this theocracy, the Islamic regime. They definitely don't want that. But they also don't want unemployment. They don't want to get killed. They don't want poverty. So Iranian people at this point really are in a vulnerable position where they don't even count in international, negotiations. This memorandum of misunderstanding, if you will, did not include the Iranian people. And they really need for the world to see that these are 92 million people living in this country who are the true owners of this country, of this land, and they don't want animosity towards
Right.
anybody. They just want a normal life. They just want to be able to, go to a restaurant, afford meat, send their children to school, and go to work with knowing that
Right.
children will not be killed at school and they will not be unemployed by the end of the day.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Sona Kazemi. As per usual, very interesting to hear your take on all of this.